Okay, so I'm pretty sure I know what this is, or both of these actually. I've got two parcels, so I thought I'd just open them up and have a bit of a talk about how my pack system is a little bit different to what most people do. To be honest, actually, I've just found one of the bloggers that I watch videos from occasionally actually does a similar thing to what I do, at least part of it anyway. But normally when I'm out and about, I'm usually the only one I can see who uses this sort of system. So I'll open these up and show you what I've got, and then I'll talk a little bit about how I set my pack up. So let's do the little one first. Okay. Alright, so what we've got here, these are from the UK. So they're pockets for my pack, okay, and I'll talk a little bit about how I use them later. So that's what I'm going to use for navigation gear, basically. So I'll put my little Garmin InReach in there, maps, compass, those kind of things. I've got a bag for my toilet kit. Excellent. I'm going to replace that because mine's falling to pieces and there's threads going everywhere. Little first aid container. Probably don't need all these little bags and things. I try and keep it to a minimum, but you know, for some things I think it's useful. And I've got pack liners as well, so hopefully a little bit tougher and maybe a more appropriate size than some of the garbage bags and stuff like that I've been using. So if that's all pack related stuff, then that'll probably give you a clue as to what's in this other bag, or at least what I think is in this other bag. They both arrived at exactly the same time. Now I have to be really careful with this. This is a super sharp knife. I stuck it in my thumb just over a month ago and it still hurts. I must have gone through into one of the joints or something. There we go. Be super careful how I do this. It's like Christmas. Yeah, there we go. That's what I thought it was. Okay. So, while I was in Tassie recently, I had quite a bit of snow on a couple of the trips, and the pack I use is a Mountain Laurel Designs Burn. It's quite an old one. I've had it for quite a long time. It's an older model, but it's made from the what do they call it? Is it Dynemex, or it's a woven fabric anyway, so it's not a waterproof fabric. And I knew that, and most of the time it doesn't matter because, you know, I use a poncho and I stick it over the top and that keeps everything dry. But I wanted to see how it coped with the snow because, I mean, and how I coped with the snow as well. And what I found was that the water naturally, when the snow settled on there, it seeped through. And the same thing happens, you know, if you get a lot of rain. So what I decided was I'd take the opportunity to update to the newer design Burn from Mountain Laurel Designs, and the DCF version, so the waterproof version. It comes in fairly close weight-wise to my existing pack. The older ones were a little bit lighter because they used they didn't have like padding and that on the waist straps, and the other straps were a bit narrow and so forth. But I went through this big thing of looking at all these different packs, you know, and I sort of came up with a series of selection criteria that I was going to use to apply them. I do have OCD, I should point that out. Actually do, I'm not just obsessive. But what I found was that you know, I went through all of these different manufacturers and looked at all of the different options, and ultimately I just came back to the the Burn because it's been such a great pack. Even with the older designed harness, I found it to be really comfortable. And you can shift weight onto your hips quite easily. It's got proper hip belts rather than just a single piece of webbing. And I like a lot of the other features as well. So this is the latest version of the Burn. Oh wow. Tent seam sealant. I'm finding all this stuff that I forgot I ordered. I'll have to look into that. Maybe you put that over the top or something. I'll have to have a look at the instructions. Maybe it's for the external seams, because I know the internal seams are tape sealed. Cool. And that little bag, or two bags actually. I think I've got those for pegs, because all of my old Dyneema bags are just wearing out. And every time I pull things out, I'm either getting holes in them or the threads of Dyneema are just coming out. So I thought it was time to replace some of my Dyneema pouches and bags and things. Cool. All right. So that's a few accessories. I'll put those with the pockets that are going to go on here. I got a water bottle pocket as well. I've got these on my existing pack, and I find these really useful to bring some of the weight forward. But what I'll do is I'll talk about that separately. The idea that I have behind the way I set my pack up, and why I do it the way I do, and you can sort of take from that what you like, but it might be useful for other people to think about some of the ideas that I've applied. Anyway, just a quick look at the new Burn. Wow, that looks awesome. In black as well, I love that. I think it was in white previously. I do like the lighter colours because you can actually write on them. You can, again, I'm obsessive. I tend to label everything so I don't lose. So if I lose it, honest people at least, will return it to me. But that's a bit difficult with this to sort of write on. But the look of the black pack is absolutely amazing. But what I really love about these Burns, I love the back pocket. You've got this material down the bottom which protects it a bit, so if you're sliding down rocks or something like that, you're not damaging the webbing. The mesh. Nice mesh pocket that you can seal up so things don't fall out. Decent size side pockets. These ones got drain holes in them, so that's fantastic. Okay. And I'll go through the closure and that later, but it has these little clips to close it up, and you just roll it down. New design on the shoulder straps compared to my old pack. So these are a little bit wider, I think, and they're shaped a bit more. So I'll see how those go. As I said, I was quite happy with the old ones, but these are apparently more comfortable. Nice and simple. I like that as well. I haven't added any extra straps or anything to it, and I'll probably take off a lot of stuff as I have with my old pack. That just doesn't seem necessary. But the wings on the old pack, I always found them quite perfectly comfortable, but these ones are a bit more padded. And one of the things I find with the Burn is that you can actually transfer weight onto your hips, and that's why I stuck again with this with the Burn, because they've got decent hip straps, so you can transfer weight. I find when I'm hiking, my shoulder straps are actually quite loose, even when I'm carrying up to about 12 kilos, which is probably more than you're meant to carry with a pack this size, but I find it works. So that's the Mountain Laurel Designs Burn, and I find, I did look at maybe getting a smaller pack, maybe going down to 25 litres. The actual internal volume of this, I think, is about 25, but all up it's 30 something maybe. Anyway, for bigger trips, I do occasionally need the extra space. Most of the time I don't fill the pack, but it is good having the option if you're doing a longer trip, maybe a week or so's food or something like that, being able to carry that if necessary. Anyway, that's the new Burn, and I'll talk later about how I set it all up and what's different about the way I set my pack up. So just a quick preview. This is how I set my pack up. Normally there's a camera here, but I'm filming with it, so I can't really show you that. So I have a clip, and the camera clips onto there, so it's ready to use. I keep all my navigation stuff there. Basically what I try and do is bring as much weight forward as possible, so I have heavy small items in like this chest pouch which rests on my hips, so the weight's on my hips, and larger lighter items like my quilt and things like that go in the pack. So basically I'm trying to bring as much weight forward to balance myself up, and helps with my back and things like that. But I'll talk a little bit about why I do it that way and show you how I set up my new pack in a different video. This whole thing is actually based on an idea from like Arn packs from New Zealand. So I had an Arn pack for a while, I've still got it actually, and I wanted to adapt something that was a little bit lighter, so go for an ultralight pack, but use the same sort of approach. And this is what I've come up with, so I'll talk about it in another video.